Good afternoon, students. This is the unit number 3, Maxwell's equations for time varying fields. Coming to the topics, the first topic is introduction. The second one is Faraday's law, simply, or you can also call it as Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. In this Faraday's law, we have the subtopics Lenz's law, transformer EMF, where EMF is nothing but electromotive force, and emotional EMF. Okay, then coming back to the next topic, that is the second topic, inconsistency of Ampere's law or Ampere's circuit law, and displacement current density. In this topic we are going to see the inconsistency in the Ampere's circuit law, how Ampere's circuit law is modified by Maxwell's equations. Now coming back to the very important question for your external point of view, Maxwell's equations in different final forms and what statements. This is a main topic. In this, Maxwell's equations for time varying fields, that means Maxwell's equations in final forms. Okay, in this we have the subtopics Maxwell's equations for free space for good conductor. Okay, for free space and good conductor. Now Maxwell's equations for time harmonic fields, or it can also be called as harmonically varying fields. Now the last topic is boundary conditions of electromagnetic fields. We are going to see separately electric field and magnetic field. Here we have two subtopics, dielectric and dielectric boundary condition, dielectric to conductor boundary condition. Is it clear? Now coming back to the first topic, that is introduction topic. Okay, first of all we will recap. Recall that electrostatic fields are usually produced by static electric charges or the charges at rest. We know that electrostatic fields are produced by the charges which are at rest. Now magnetostatic fields are due to motion of electric charge with uniform velocity, that means charge moving with a constant velocity, it also called as a direct current. Now coming back to this unit, time varying fields or waves, you can also call time varying fields or waves. Why I am going to call this as waves, we will see in the fourth unit. These time varying fields are usually due to accelerated charges. That means, what is the meaning of that accelerated charges? Means the charges are moving with non-uniform velocities, or you can also call it is not a DC current, it is time varying current. That means it is an AC current. Okay, these are the following examples of time varying currents or time varying fields: sinusoidal, square, triangular. Examples of time varying current: sinusoidal, square or rectangular. You can, depending upon the width of it, you can call it as whether it may be a square or whether it may be rectangular. This is a triangular. Are you clear? This is nothing but the introduction. Okay, now see, we know that in the second unit we have seen that after Ørsted's experimental discovery, okay, after Ørsted's experimental discovery, we know that a steady current, that means a DC current, produces a magnetic field. That means it is clear that Ørsted's experimentally proved that a DC current is responsible to produce a magnetic field. But in 1831, Michael Faraday discovered that a time varying magnetic field, that means not a static magnetic field, a time varying magnetic field would produce an electric current. That means Michael Faraday, after his experimental results, he said that this reverse is possible. That means with the help of magnetic field we can able to generate a current. This reverse is possible. We will see how it is. Okay, first of all we will move to the experiment of Faraday's law. This is also be called as Faraday's law of electromagnetic induction. Yeah, once again I'm repeating guys, these figures are not necessary for your external point of view, for your exam point of view. This is only for your understanding point of view. Okay, Faraday considered a permanent bar magnet and a coil here. It is a coil or a closed circuit, and actually Faraday's placed a galvanometer here, but we have placed a bulb here. Faraday's observed that for a magnet we have a magnetic field. Okay, this magnetic field is not creating any electric current. After that, Faraday's moved this magnet in this direction, that means if you observe that the magnet is moved nearer to the coil, then Faraday's observed a bulb is flash for some time. Okay, for some time, observe, it is very important, for some time, that means for a milliseconds of time the bulb is flashed. Okay, now Faraday moved this magnet away. Once again he moved in this direction like this, away from this coil. Once again he observed the flash of bulb. Okay, later I will tell what is this north pole, what is this south pole, what is this, later I will discuss that. That means from these two Faraday, okay, get an idea that by changing the magnetic field through this coil, or by changing the magnetic flux through this coil, there is a voltage present in the circuit and which leads to a flow of current. Okay, this voltage and current is because of the magnetic field of this magnet. That's why this voltage is going to be called as induced voltage, and the current is also going to be called as induced current. Okay, now Faraday replaced this bar magnet like this. Okay, with the help of a battery and a coil and a switch, he once again wants to perform the experiment. Observe this experiment. When the switch is closed, let us assume this battery is going to be pass 1 ampere of current. We know that from 0 amperes to the current will flow 1 ampere, but it won't be looks like that. Whenever the switch is closed, it looks like that the current is 1 ampere, but practically the current is not 1 ampere directly. It will be from 0 to 1 ampere. That means it is changing from 0 to 1 ampere. After 1 ampere it is steady now. Okay, that means whenever the switch is closed, Faraday once again observe there is a flash of bulb here. Once again I am saying that the flash of bulb is for a milliseconds of time, that's it. Okay, after the current reaches to 1 ampere, okay, the bulb is not going to be flash. Okay, now Faraday turns off this switch, then once again he observed there is a flash of light for milliseconds. Okay, why? Because when the switch is open, the current will be from 1 ampere to 0 ampere. Practically it is not directly 0 amperes, it will be some slowly, but this will be happen in the milliseconds of time. That's why it won't be appear. Okay, observe very carefully, the flash of light is for milliseconds only. That's why, okay, it is not going to be observe the change in the current. That means Faraday's from his experiments he concluded that static magnetic field doesn't produce an electric current, but a change in magnetic field will produce an electric current, or a change in current, that means not a DC current, a time varying current, an alternating current will produce a magnetic field. Now Faraday again he performed that experiment once again by keeping this magnet as a constant. He started to move this coil, okay, nearer to the magnet and away from the magnet. Then also he observed a flash of light. That's why Faraday concludes that static loop in time varying magnetic field causes an induced EMF, or time varying loop in a static magnetic field causes an induced EMF, or time varying loop in time varying magnetic field causes an induced EMF. Now coming back to this, okay, when this magnet comes nearer to the coil, then there is a flash of light. That means then there is an induced voltage. This induced voltage will create this as a north pole and this as a south pole. Then the current will flow from south to north in this direction. Then this north and this south, see here, this north and this is also north, has an repulsive force there. That means this current is going to be opposed the change in the magnetic flux here. In the similar manner, when the magnet moves away from the coil, this will be act as a south pole and this will be act as a north pole. The current is in the opposite direction. That means this south pole will oppose the change in magnetic fields. It will attract the north pole. This is known as a Lenge's law. Lenge's law states that the induced current produced in this circuit due to the change in magnetic flux flows in such a direction it opposes the change in magnetic flux. Are you clear? This is Lenge's law. Now we will move to the Faraday's laws after his experimental research. According to Faraday's experiments, a static magnetic field produces no current flow, but a time varying magnetic field produces induced EMF which causes a current to flow. Now coming back to the statements of Faraday's law. The first statement, Faraday's first law states that whenever magnetic flux linked with a closed circuit changes, see here, whenever magnetic flux links with a closed circuit changes, there is an induced EMF. Is it clear? Thus the first statement of Faraday's law, Faraday's first law states that whenever magnetic flux linked with a closed circuit changes, induced EMF is produced. The second law, this is the actually Faraday's law. In so many books they are going to be treated this is a Faraday's law. Faraday's second law states that the induced EMF in any closed circuit is equal to the time rate of change of the magnetic flux linkage by the circuit. Okay, this is actually called as Faraday's law in so many textbooks. It is expressed as the induced EMF is equal to the time rate of change of magnetic flux linkage by that circuit. This negative sign is nothing but the induced EMF will produce an induced current in such a direction it opposes the change in magnetic flux. Then we know that lambda is equal to n into phi. Okay, the units of EMF is volts, then where n is nothing but the number of turns of the coil, then phi is nothing but the magnetic flux passing through each turn. Magnetic flux passing through each turn. Here the negative sign indicates that the negative sign shows that the induced voltage acts in such a way as to oppose the flux producing it. This is known as Lenge's law. Now finally Lenge's law is going to be right like this. It states that the induced current, it states that the induced current produced in a circuit due to change in magnetic flux always flows in such a direction that it opposes the cause that produces it. Okay, it opposes the cause that produces. Is it clear? That means actually the meaning is it opposes the change in magnetic flux. Now the variation of flux with the time may be caused in three ways: by having a stationary loop in a time varying magnetic field, this is known as transformer EMF; by having a time varying loop area in a static magnetic field, that is a motional EMF; by having a time varying loop area in a time varying magnetic field. Very important note, if a loop or closed circuit has a resistance of R, then the induced current is equal to induced voltage upon the resistance, amperes. This is nothing but Faraday's law and Lenz's law. Okay, in the next video we are going to see the three types which causes variation of flux with the time. Thank you very much.